I finished laser sailing at the Olympics basically in China and jumped right in the boat here in January after the games, and it's been a good transition. I'm from San Diego originally, and I've got a strong tradition of star sailors out there that were helping me out and are still helping me out. I mean, George is a fellow club member of mine, and there's a bunch of us here. So these guys are really good, and they've been very helpful kind of in the initial part of the game. And now I'm on my own, so now the transition has become tougher because I've started to reach the upper ends of the tuning game and that kind of thing. So I'm trying not to get too caught up in it, but the transition was actually quite easy because the fact of the matter is that it's still sailboat racing, and luckily I didn't lose any of those sailboat racing skills when I switched classes.
How much did you learn on the water watching the other guys?
I learned a ton, absolutely. I mean, Ed Baird is our coach this week here, and our coaches in the past, as well as Ed, have made a pretty strong push to make sure that the U.S. sailing team guys go out together and are part of the first lineup together anyway. And we line up at 10 o'clock, an hour before the start at the committee boat and show a force kind of thing. And we get a very clear and early indicator of how we're going against the other guys and against the guy next to you. So after that first lineup's done, then we break off and go line up against other people, or go check out the starting line, that kind of thing. But the fact that we can line up next to our teammates and that kind of thing makes a big impact on whether or not we know we're going fast at the beginning of the day, or whether we need to change something and get going a different direction.
And so you had a successful race today.
We had one successful race today, yeah.
Talk a little bit about it.
Well, the second race today, after the first race today, let's put it in perspective here, was brutal. We didn't have the speed that we wanted, and something wasn't quite going right, and we didn't have quite the height we needed to get around the race course. And it shows, that if you are just a little bit off the pace, then you're going to get hurt pretty bad in one design racing. And so I think we were, pretty deep in the first race. And the second race, breeze lightened up a little bit. I think the boat was set up a little better for that condition. And we got off the line in great shape after a black flag start, and we're in a lane that we could keep sailing in, which is really nice. Just clear air and put ourselves out in a nice spot on the left-hand side of the race course. Came back across, and the rest of the fleet was dealing with a lot of traffic, and we didn't have to deal with any of that. And ended up rounding right behind Andy Horton in third, and Robert Scheidt was extended a bit down the first run and did a nice job of getting away from us enough, and we had a little bit of the fleet behind us to deal with, so we had to play a little bit of that game too. And we went around the leeward mark, and something went afoul with Andy's boat, and we ended up making a big gain on him there, and we're able to hold him off going into the finish.
To get a podium finish,
yeah,
what do you have to do in this class to do that?
You have to have a really good event. There's a lot of guys out here, and I'd hate to put a number on it, but probably 20 or 25 guys in our fleet that could easily have a podium finish if they had a good regatta. And if you went down through the list and found out who was here and how they've done in the past, you'd see that that's the case, that there are, there's a ton of world champions and Olympic medalists that are still sailing the class. So based on a couple of good races here, a couple of bad races here, that's the difference. And so for us to get a podium finish at the end of the week here, we're going to have to really pour it on. I dug myself into a pretty serious hole after the first day, and so we're going to slowly chip away at it and see if we can break back into that top group. But no, everything has to fall right to have a podium finish in this kind of fleet.